Hi everyone, I'm a PhD student currently working at the University of Montpellier, and today I'm going to present the MFD package, which is a package to compute and plot functional diversity. Functional diversity is the diversity of organism characteristics that relate to their interactions with their biotic and biotic environment. If you take a first fruit basket with 5 species, so these species have the same type of size, they came from the same type of plants, same type of climate. And then if you take a second basket, so in this basket we also have 5 species, but we have a big variation in sizes, and those species come from different types of plants, different climate, and thus in this basket we have a higher diversity of traits, and thus we have a higher functional diversity. Some frameworks and indices have been proposed to compute and quantify functional diversity, and some of these frameworks and indices have been increasingly used. Some of these indices are already computable using publicly available R functions that are disseminated into R packages, supplementary information of publications, or personal repository. But these functions are not embedded in a single source, and that's why we've created the multifaceted functional diversity package. This package has user-friendly functions that help the user to go step by step through the functional diversity analysis. It has customizable graphical representation of key outputs based on the ggplot2 frameworks, and it also has tutorials gathered on the website that help to the user to have the correct progression and interpretation of their analysis. So I'm here gonna present the most basic MFD workflow based on a fruit basket example. So the MFD package needs three main inputs. The first one is the species trait matrix. So in this matrix, for each species, we have traits to characterize them. So here we have species that are fruits, and then we have 5 traits to describe them. Then the MFD package needs a species assemblage matrix. So for each assemblage, so here each fruit basket, we have the abundance of each fruit, so each species in it. And then the MFD package needs a trait description data frame. So for each trait, this data frame summarizes the type of traits it is. So the MFD package allows nominal, ordinal, quantitative, circular, or fuzzy traits. Then the package has a set of summarizing functions that help to summarize the main features of inputs, but I'm not going to go further into that. And the first step in order to compute functional diversity indices is to calculate trait-based distances between species, according to Euclidean or Gower distances, according to the type of traits you have. Then, in order to generate multidimensional spaces in which functional diversity will be computed, the MFD package performs PCOA-based multidimensional spaces. And then, it evaluates the quality of functional spaces, but also functional dendrograms based on the difference between trait-based distance and the distance in the functional space or in a functional tree. And it also has some metrics that help the user to choose on which functional space to work on. So here, the functional space with the best quality is the one with 4 dimensions, and thus we will work with this functional space. Then, the MFD package helps to plot functional space. So for all 2 dimensions spaces made by pair of axes, we have the position of each species in it. And each element in this graph is personalizable. So for instance, shapes or sizes. And then the last step in the most basic workflow of the MFD package is to compute and plot functional diversity indices. So this package can compute alpha or beta diversity indices. This package can compute 9 alpha diversity indices and also plot them. So here you have the plot for functional specialization. And again, each element in this graph is personalizable. And then the package helps to compute beta diversity indices based on 2 families, so Jacob or Sorensen families. And beta diversity is decomposed into turnover and nestedness resultant. And you can also plot beta diversity based on the convex hull shaping each assemblage in the functional space. So here we have two polygons that refers to the convex hull of basket 1 and basket 4 in the functional space. And then again, each element in this graph is personalizable. So you have basic MFD functions that helps to plot up to 2 assemblages, but with advanced MFD functions, you can plot as many assemblages as you want. The MFD package is a user-friendly package because all functions include the internal validation of inputs with detailed error messages. It also has a website on which currently 5 tutorials are already available to compute up to 16 functional diversity indices based on 3 frameworks, so the one we've just seen, that is species position in the multidimensional space, but also trait-based distances framework, and also functional entities framework. I thank you for your attention.